Well, I had some interesting facts. Who is the oldest living Lancer player?
Quentin.
You got it. Quentin Mathis.
I got to know that one.
He's 85 years old. He played for the Grace College Seminary combined team, and it was the Crusaders. Their colors were purple and gold.
We need to get him to come talk to the team.
Yeah, he's around. He walks every day up by my house. Had 2 strokes, back surgery, knee surgery.
He was a Lancer.
And he still moves along. No, he was a Lancer.
He played.
Oh,
Played for the Lancers. He was a teammate of Forrest Jackson. Forrest Jackson, leading scorer Taylor, and he played for the Lancers after that. How's that one? Yeah.
What's the funniest name of a player you've ever coached?
The funniest name?
Probably Marcus Moore.
I really can't say that, but
What about nickname?
Probably Kempy Sanders. That was his real name, though. But Kempy Sanders.
I know Kempy.
What's the best nickname you've had for a player?
Oh, man.
The Rocket. That's a good one.
I don't know. I
Are we
wasn't much on nicknames.
Ready to start?
Hold on, I want to hear some new facts.
Coach Kammer was the nickname guy. Coach Kammer's real name's not Chet, you know.
What is it?
It's Glenn.
Seriously?
Nobody knows that.
I didn't either.
All over the world, it's Chet Kammer. It's Glenn Kammer. Who was the tallest team?
Oh, that was when I was here. That was
2011,
Adrian,
2012.
We looked good in the airport.
Adrian, Dennis, and Duke. 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot. Yeah, we looked great in the airport.
We did.
But we had some short ones, too. I think you were one of them. Well, here's a good one. Nobody would ever get this one. The latest arrival to a game.
Oh, after the game was supposed to start.
Pretty sure that was our team.
No. We were 40 minutes late.
Where?
At Gordon, we were in Boston.
No.
The maps that we used.
I don't think we've ever had a good experience in Boston. Every time we've taken trips.
Well, they changed the numbers on the freeway when they redid it. So we're driving along. It says next exit New Hampshire. So what? Why in the world are we? So we cut through the country. We get there 40 minutes after the game started, even not just warm up.
We've had a couple of those.
It's better than being 40 minutes late to Bethel.
Well, that's true. That's when I met my friend John Block. Tyler goes off for 40, and we beat him. Gordon at Gordon.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
What else you got?
Here's one.
Here, come on.
Who was the only player, Lancer player, to ever play in the NBA? Rich Rhodes.
Who did he play for?
Yeah.
Triton.
No, who did he play for?
The Bulls. Lucius Allen broke his jaw.
On purpose?
Yeah, got a little feisty. Rich could get a little feisty probably. And we have one former player coached in the NBA.
Coach in the NBA.
And he coached here too. Chet Kammer. Chet Kammer, yeah. Yep.
Glenn.
Still is, actually. Glenn.
Kammer.
Glenn. What player traveled the furthest to come play at Grace?
No idea.
I'll just tell you, he traveled 8,214 miles. There are 2 of them, teammates. Joe Saunders and Barry Meisel.
Oh, yeah.
From the Philippines. That's right.
Yep.
Both of them.
Big Joe.
Furthest way. What's the furthest road trip in season that we ever took?
We went to...
I'll tell you, it's 4,346 miles.
We went to...
That's got to be in
the
Europe.
Bahamas.
Yeah. We went to the Bahamas.
No, that's not even close.
Is it in Europe somewhere?
Hawaii. Honolulu, Hawaii. Yeah. I thought it might have been Anchorage, Alaska, but that's only 3,700 miles. But
we haven't gone to Hawaii in a long time.
We never got to go to Hawaii.
Well,
fundraising.
Good question.
Back in the 70s.
Actually, that's before those schools were big schools, and so they gave us guarantees. I thought I had a great deal playing Hilo, and they're going to give us half the gate. Man, that sounds like a good deal, then.
How many people showed up?
Close to
$50. See, so what we had to pay the officials, we had to pay the scorekeepers, and so we ended up with $50. Not
Hawaii, huh? I think we went to Montana one time.
Yeah.
In Boston.
What was the longest shot ever made in a game by a Lancer?
90 from out of bounds, 94 feet.
No.
Degenkolb hit one from 75.
It was further than that. Phil Wickstrom got an offensive rebound and shot it. It went in at Trinity.
Did he mean to shoot or is it a pass?
Oh, yeah. No, he shot it. He's a good shooter, but
I guess
not much from 90 feet, but hey, what a shot.
Do one more.
What a shot. One more. Oh, here's
These are
one.
good.
What family had the most players from the same family? Most players from the same family.
Probably us. We have more than 3.
They were siblings.
You'd have had to have someone with 4.
Well, Larry Christner had 2 sons and he played, but
Christners.
the Moore boys were all siblings.
That's right.
Matt led the way. Marcus and Scott followed.
Those are good. That's good.
I got a few more, but that'll be
You
on
can
the
elaborate on
that'll be
some
on the
questions.
next show.
All right.
See if we get any requests for number 2.
We got another show.
Ready to get started?
Let's do it.
All right.
Well, we did start.
Well, we're going to officially restart. We have to do
Okay.
introductions. All right, my name is Marcus Moore. I am the athletic recruiting coordinator here at Grace. I'm here with Scott Moore, the current head coach of the Lancers, and directly to my left, a man who needs no introduction, the former legendary head coach.
Former legend. Not legendary anymore, though.
You know what a legend?
Current legendary.
You know what a legend is,
coach.
don't you?
What's that?
That's a story that might not be true, like
Yeah.
the Legends of Sleepy Hollow.
This one's true.
I don't think that happened.
This is, in fact, all true.
What's my real title now? Come on.
I'm not sure.
See, I have a card. You want to see it?
I do want to see it.
I'm the special assistant to the athletic director.
Okay.
My
Well,
office is in the administration building.
apologies. This is supposed to take 20 minutes, but it's going to go over. Coach Jim Kessler, Coach K, to all of you. All right, let's get started. First question. We'll go back and forth here. This one's for Coach K. Mission trips obviously are a big deal in our basketball program and have been for a long time. Talk about how you got started in the mission field as it relates to your basketball team and maybe some special memories you have involving those.
Boy, a lot of memories. The first trip I think that Grace College took was with Chet Kammer, and he took a group to the Philippines. No, he took them to Puerto Rico. And so then when I came, we started looking for places to go and missions to accomplish. And actually went back to Puerto Rico at one time, but not for quite a while. Been to Europe. I think I've been on 18 trips.
Wow.
Philippines, Africa, Europe, wherever, Mexico.
Awesome.
Navajo missions. It's to share the gospel. Give guys a chance to go do some cross-cultural experience.
So, Scott, you've had an opportunity to be a part of those missions trips, not only as a player, but as a coach. How are you going to carry on kind of what Coach K has obviously started and done a wonderful job for the past 40 years with your current group and moving forward in the future?
Yeah, I think, when you're 17, 18 years old, a lot of these young men are coming to school to play basketball. And I think one thing that separates our program from a lot is the opportunities we have to use basketball as an opportunity to do things that, is kind of beyond a lot of these kids' dreams. I remember a story before one of our players, actually Coach and I went on a trip, and we had gone to the ocean and we were getting ready to leave, and I remember one of our players was down at the water and just kind of looking out, and I had said, hey, we're getting ready to go, and he's just kind of staring off in the distance. And I said, hey, we got to get going. We're leaving. And he says, Coach, it just keeps going. And he had never actually seen the ocean before. And so, even as coaches, Coach and I would talk about this all the time, where you don't realize that some of these kids have never been on a plane before, let alone, even sometimes out of the state. So the opportunities we have to go on mission trips and just, again, use basketball as an opportunity to share the gospel is unique, and it's an opportunity that, again, we hope to continue for at least as long as I'm here.
One of the reasons was because we had to go a long way to find somebody we could beat.
It's also true. And the other reason is sometimes we had to go a long way so we could get a recruit, didn't we?
Yeah, that's true.
So, Scott, you've seen Coach K in multiple capacities. Like I said, you were running around. We were playing basketball in the old gym when Matt was here. And then as a player, obviously, for 4 years, and now as a coach for a number of years as an assistant, and then kind of taking over. Describe your relationship with Coach and kind of how it's evolved over the past 20 years.
Yeah, good question. I think it's a lot like a father. I think, your dad to you when you're younger is your superior. He's your authority. He's someone that when he says something, you listen. And there's almost not a level. I guess there's a level of fear, but not maybe in the sense of like you're scared. And I thought that was probably very similar to Coach coming to play. Is there's this great respect, but it's also someone that his voice, his word carries, and you're going to listen to what he says, and you're going to try to do the best you can. And then as time goes on, it's funny. Our relationship with Dad is you kind of become a little bit more friends, and you start to talk about things about life and move in kind of a different area. And I really think that Coach and I, the more I was with him the last 7-8 years, that's kind of where it's been. Is it grew from, it's always been a mentor. I think it'll always be that. But in a way like Dad is to us, Coach just became honestly just one of my best friends, and just being able to talk to him about more than just, hey, what are we doing for practice this day? It's, hey, Bridget and I are getting ready to have our first kid. Like, help. What do we do? And just the advice and just the phone calls. And, those always mean a lot. I think it's always nice when your phone rings and you see that Coach K across there, because it probably has nothing to do with that basketball, but it's going to be something that you'll never forget.
My guess is that phone call is probably after 11 o'clock at night as well.
Is that why I had something common with your dad? I had to throw you both out of practice the first day because you got in a fight.
There's a.
Don't tell me you guys did. You've been fighting before you were born. I know you were.
I think we were just working through some details. But I know, Coach, a lot of people reaching out to some alumni. A lot of people definitely want to know. You have a new position now. You're still involved, but definitely do it kind of from behind the scenes. What do you miss most about coaching? And secondly, what do you miss least about coaching?
I miss players the most. Day-to-day contact. That's the best part of the day. I was full-time faculty for a number of years, and that was the best part of the day, is go to practice and see the guys. Think about that. What was the other question?
What do you miss least about coaching?
Least about coaching. Recruiting, probably. Yeah. Just hours on the road, frustration to find a guy that's a great fit, and he decides to go someplace else. You think that's a mistake, son, but I suppose that's it.
Good. Awesome. All right, transitioning here, because I know you got some awesome facts to talk about.
Joke.
Lancer Camp, obviously it's a staple of our program. It has been for decades and decades and decades. Talk about Lancer Camp. How did it start? And I know when you kind of took over, how did you grow it into really at its height in the 90s and early 2000s, and when there was just hundreds and hundreds of kids every single week for 6-7 weeks in the summertime?
Chet Cameron began the camp back in 1968, I believe it was. He had gone out to Pennsylvania to work at a camp and asked me to go with him the next year, and that was a great experience. And I grew up, my dad was a camp director, not a basketball camp, but I always wanted to go to camp. This was great. So I tried to make camp as much fun as I could, just as if I was a camper myself. And all my kids would come here. And it just kind of grew. Back in those early days, there weren't a lot of camps. And we set as our goal to teach young men how to play. We had 4 goals. We wanted them to have fun, and we did some silly stuff like Swamp Monster and all that. My wife said I was going to get sued someday, but I made it. I didn't.
40 plus years.
I had 2 parents really upset with me one time. It wasn't because they didn't get visits, because they did not get visited. Yep. She said, my son's been planning all year, and you didn't go scare him. Myself, brother. I never thought that would happen, but it's just to have fun. Second thing, we want them to learn there's more to life than basketball. A lot of kids think that's it. Really, it's not. It's about learning about life, what God's Word says about living. We want them to learn how to play the fundamentals of the game. So we spent a lot of time on fundies. And then we wanted them to learn there's more to life than basketball. I confuse that with, if you want to be good at anything, you have to work really hard based on some basic fundamentals. And that was the theme that we followed through the years. Then the girls, would come to camp with their brothers and said, why don't we have a girls' camp? Well, let's try it. So we did a girls' camp for several years and turned it over to the women's coach. And I told them we're doing the same thing the boys do. Good. That's what we're going to do. And they were pretty good. So,
Awesome.
fun time.
Yep.
So
Good experience.
we'll get back to facts.
I've actually slept I've slept in the dorm almost 2 years of my life.
Total. Add it
Yeah.
up.
Add it up, week after week. You take
How many
number of camps and the number of days we sleep at the
ballpark the
dorm.
number of fire alarms that have gone off at Lancer?
Well, I've got a few in mind that happen. Yeah.
Every year
My
on
guy's-
average, or
He gets pizza and he doesn't want to share it. His roommate won't share it with him, so he took his Gold Bond foot powder, dumped it in front of the fan that we have, which ruined the pizza, but also set off the alarm because it doesn't know the difference between particles.
I wouldn't want to share Mama K's pizza either.
One
so I
guy, this is
understand.
hard. It's hard to believe. This guy set off the alarm in the gym by hitting it with a basketball. I didn't know you could do it that way. He said he was trying to throw it someplace else, but happened to hit that.
Just missed the X
Same
on the
kid.
wall.
We give him the what for, the fire come over. And then we're over in the dorm, we're getting ready to go to supper. And he's going down the hallway, putting his tank top on, and caught the fire alarm, tripped it again. He tripped the fire alarm with it an hour twice.
that was Greg Miller, wasn't it?
Greg Miller.
Well, I can't say it's false alarm, and the guy said, we thought so. But
So Scott, what's your plans moving forward with Lancer Camp? Times have changed
it's
quite
like
a
to
bit.
have one, wouldn't we?
So-
The first thing is we had our first summer in 44 years,
Ever.
I think, without camp. So COVID caused us to make a couple changes, and we just thought it was best for the year just to hold off. But we're coming back. It's cool. The campus has changed. I think that's the neatest thing. One, to run into all these people. I mean, randomly, right? Not even in our in Warsaw here, but man, I think we see people with Lancer Camp shirts in different states sometimes. Heck, Denny, I think, saw someone in a different country one time with a Lancer Camp shirt. So just to get that, keep the tradition going. But campus has changed so much. It's neat when former campers come back and they bring their kids or they bring their grandkids and they look around and they said, "Man, we didn't have this." 30 years ago, 40 years ago, which is pretty cool. But honestly, a few minor changes, but nothing's really changed. I think that's the benefit that we've had with camp is it's been so good and people like it so much. Where 2 years ago, we had record numbers that we had in the previous 10 years. So I think it's going, and hopefully we can rock and roll next
I
summer.
think that's why a lot of area coaches send their sons here because they want them to learn how to play the
For sure.
game, how to play it right. And you're talking about that camp show. There's a movie called Smoke. I've never seen it. It's a Hollywood movie, and there's a guy. It's a story about a guy who takes a picture at a certain time every day in his camera shop, and he does that as a routine. While there was a murder committed, he happened to see it. Well, they thought he did because he took it exactly the same time, 8 o'clock every day. There's a kid walking across the street in New York City in this movie wearing a Lancer Camp shirt.
No way.
Clearly,
Oh my gosh.
Ken Anderson took a picture of it and sent it to me. He said, "Where'd they get
That's
that?
so crazy.
Where'd that come from?"
There's plenty of those
And
out, aren't there?
there was a missionary summer trip by some guys in Central African Republic. There's a guy out in the field wearing a Lancer Camp staff shirt. You had to see where he got that.
That's so cool.
You never
They're
know.
everywhere.
And a reminder, if you wear your Lancer Camp to a home Grace game, you will get in for free.
Get in free.
And if you go up to this guy, he'll buy you a Coke.
It used to be a quarter. Now I got to get the green stuff
Like
out to buy
$2.50 now.
a Coke.
Anyone that comes up to me and says, "Hey, you owe me a
See
Coke,"
him.
I go see the old guy up top.
He's around here somewhere.
Yeah. So this message is for alumni. So Scott, continue on here. What aspirations do you have for our alumni when it comes to not only the basketball program but Grace College in general?
Just to stay connected, I think with the way technology is, it's becoming more and more easy to stay connected from a distance. And obviously, when you have someone that's been here for over 40 years in the same role, and now I've taken over, one benefit that we have is we're kind of one of his guys, and everyone that was here before, we kind of have a connection to. So the hard part for me is, again, not only taking my group from pretty much the 2000s to now 2020, but also just reconnecting and getting to know some of the players in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, and so forth. And again, keeping this tradition going as good as we can.
I've had over 200 alum. It's been over 286 basketball alum in Grace College. Through the
How many thousands of Lancer campers?
You know what? I can't figure that out. I don't do numbers that big. But
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, we'll give
a
Coach
lot of them, I
chance.
can tell you that.
He's got some more Lancer
They
camp
come from
facts.
everywhere.
Well, read some of your facts. I'll give you a chance to read a couple more
It's
here.
not about Lancer Camp necessarily, but
I want to know what you had to take off a court. What are some things you had to remove from a basketball court?
All
'Cause
right.
I remember removing a couple things, and it wasn't just
since
people.
you asked, I just happen to have the top 10 right here. Number 1, a cow.
You had to remove a cow.
A
from
cow in Mombasa, Kenya, so we could
Not from old
to
Lancer
practice. No, not
Okay.
Lancer Camp, but yeah, that was interesting. He left some deposits as well. How about this? A live cougar at Mount
From Mount
Vernon,
Vernon.
Nazarene. They had a homecoming event. They brought in a live cougar. Guy had it in a bag with a halter on it.
Jeez. Was that when we played? Was that ours?
I was in the front row across the gym, and the cougar, they got him out. When the band started playing, the poor animal went crazy.
Oh, jeez.
And he's got both hands up. I'm heading up. Higher bleachers. Finally turned the lights off, said, please, everyone be quiet. They got instantly quiet because they knew. Got the guy back in the bag and
Probably
took
a
him
smart
off.
idea.
Yeah. Sand in the Bahamas. We had moved sand quite often. Kind of get slippery. How about this? A goat and droppings in the Philippines.
Yeah.
We're playing, and the goat walks on the court. Time out. Get the goat off. And he took care of business, and then he left. So they had to do that. Here's one. An automobile with 3 wheels in the middle of the OCC
I was here
court.
for that. One of the best pranks of all time, by the way.
Great prank. Got everybody in a real uproar. I thought it was funny. But reminded me of another, that's another story. How about this one? A shattered clipboard by a coach in Oakland City.
That must have been you.
Yeah, I got this high-tech clipboard that was like, I don't know what it was, plastic or something, and I just set it down gently. Had to get the mop and sweep it up. That was embarrassing, man. How about this? A big rat. We were ready to play the game, Nassau, Bahama. A rat
That's gross.
jumps through the wall. It had like those blocks. Jumps on the floor and comes out running.
I think I saw a couple rats in the locker room in the old Lancer gym before.
Maybe. Shattered glass at Olivet Naz. Bill Keene opened the door, but he forgot to actually open the door. He was pushed. Went through the glass, plate glass doors. Got him up pretty good. The old gym had glass doors too. When they built those, they were glass doors, plate glass. But before we actually left, every one of those glasses had been broken. Mostly by baseball practice in there. But anyway. How about this in Puerto Rico? If you hear this or not, there was horse manure on the court we practiced.
Just sidestep.
We like to run, but not quite. And the last but not least, the snowdrift in the old Lancer gym.
That was every year.
We actually got a snow shovel.
On the
shoveled
west
out the
corner.
door.
I used to wear mittens and warm-ups.
Man, oh man.
We can always tell shooters they wear gloves, so
That's right.
that's why you were a shooter.
I don't think
All
so.
right. All right. So we're going to do something here. We're going to do rapid fire questions. This is for Scott, but this is about Coach K. All right. So you have to answer
Think quick.
fast as possible. Fast as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like we got 5. All right. You ready?
Go.
All right. Let's see how you can get this done under 30 seconds. All right. Number 1, what's your favorite Coach K saying?
Get your head out of your duffel bag.
What's the angriest you ever saw Coach K get?
He did throw out Andrew Kipsey in a practice one time because Kipsey had a little argument with the go-go time and decided to go chest bump the biggest chest in the gym. It didn't go well.
I watch, never watch.
No,
I remember that vividly.
with 12 decimal spots.
What's the worst place he's ever taken a team to eat?
The worst place. The question should be, what's the best place? Because there's too many of the worst places.
All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is Mama K's pizza?
11.
If Coach K did not coach, what profession do you think he'd excel at?
A taxi driver.
That is a lie. All right, that is rapid fire with head coach.
You've never been
Moore.
lost before, right?
No, we always get there.
We always get there.
Sometimes
You'll get your
little
chance.
detour.
You'll get your chance to rebuttal here, I think.
Rebuttal.
All right, we'll finish with your alumni facts. Before that, we have some alumni questions, and both of you can answer this. All right, this one comes
This is from alumni.
Yeah, this is from someone named Sea Dog. Sea Dog. I don't know who that would be.
You might work in the rec center.
All right, this is for both of you. If you could be another profession, what would it be? So you can rebuttal the taxi driver if you want.
I would like to be a youth pastor.
Coach Moore, what would you be?
Probably an athletic director.
Okay, good. All right, this is an anonymous email.
I was that twice and I didn't like it.
Didn't like it?
Okay, no.
Okay, so
Too many details.
we'll call this no name. Favorite coaches to coach against? Scott, you can go first.
Favorite coaches to
Who are
coach
some of your
against?
favorite coaches or infamous coaches?
Our league's full of good coaches. I don't like coaching. I thought I would like coaching against friends in our profession, but that's probably the least enjoyable part. So like Greg Miller, who's at Trinity, and Boomer Roberts, who's at Purdue North Central now, and I got some buddies at Ottawa. I think I like competing against most teams in the league. I like Bethel. I like competing against Draven and those guys. Probably what I'll say.
Coach K?
Would you enjoy playing your son in a game?
I mean, I'd whoop him. He's only 4.
Someday it's not going to happen, but no, I think Coach Bloom, Scott Bloom, was a protege, and we coached against him.
Yep.
And then Greg Miller, another protege.
Man.
It's fun. Yeah, and Coach Moore's been several. It's fun, but it's just
Yep.
special. You can go down
Yeah.
and talk to them, and then you say, okay, now take it easy on us.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
what I'm mad too.
This is a unique one. This is from Twitter handle CC Baller. They want to know, who's your favorite player ever?
Can't answer that.
Okay.
question.
Well, they did have a follow-up question. They said, who's your favorite former player in the room?
Well, if they were the same age, I'd probably pick. You can't. That's impossible.
All right. We won't make him answer that one. He does have some facts, though.
My
Talk
favorite
about
player might be Delano Robinson,
that's probably a good one.
but
I'd choose him too.
Alum. Talk about your alum. You have some pretty cool facts, Coach K, about alum and their professions.
well, I didn't do a great deal of study. But how many doctors do you think we have had play for me? PhDs, MDs, doctor,
20.
different things. 19.
Close.
19 doctors. One guy has 2. Dave Ritter has a PhD.
We played with Dave Ritter.
and an MD.
I think he had a PhD halfway through his sophomore year of college.
I have a neurosurgeon, a orthopedic surgeon,
Yep.
and one guy has a doctorate and he's vice president of a college. Never would have guessed that. Surprised me. How many pastors do you think we've had?
Probably more. 30.
No, 16 actual
Less.
pastors, men of the cloth.
Man of the cloth.
Coaches. How many basketball coaches?
A lot of these.
I
I
didn't
would
coach
say-
professional, but they did coach teams.
I'm going to guess 50 on this one.
55.
55.
Holy cow! We only had 211. 55 were coaches.
See what you
There's
did?
2 right here. Yeah, and it's infectious,
Infectious.
isn't it? Yeah, I've had one that's in prison. We'll talk about that one. One's a congressman. How's that? Paul Zellweger's a congressman.
Not the same person, right?
That's good.
No, different one. And one's a movie star.
I mean, I was
Ari
only-
Boomsma.
Oh, sorry. I thought you
In
were
the
talking-
Netherlands, of
Me.
course. One's a judge, but whatever.
You didn't have model on there. You had one model. I was in it for a couple of years.
You were modeling?
Couple of years.
I can see that.
All right.
What'd you model?
Calvin Klein.
Cowboy boots
No.
with my feet right there.
Cowboy boots.
No free advertising here.
Yeah.
All right.
Grace Apparel.
Anything else you want to share? This is to the alums. You can tell.
Well, here's some alum. Who was one father-son played each other in an alumni game?
Father, son,
I know.
alum.
One graduated in 1970, one graduated in 1974.
What?
1970, one's 1994.
94.
Yeah, fix that. You think you probably know who it is.
94.
From Plymouth City.
Was it, I don't know.
Mike McCoy.
Mike McCoy and Travis McCoy.
I don't know. It's Travis.
Father
I didn't know
son
that.
combination, yeah.
Hmm.
That was interesting. Oh, that's about all for today, folks.
That was pretty good.
Thanks for joining us.
Well,
Who do they write the checks to?
take a look. Oh, yeah, that's one thing I wanted to say. Can I do a little advertising?
Yes, that's
Okay.
what we're here for.
Well, without Lancer Camp, we mentioned that created a deficit in our restricted account, which is where we purchase shoes, athletic equipment. That's non-budgeted things. Shoes and travel gear is not budgeted.
Scholarships, too.
For our scholarships. But people can donate. Alum can donate. I wrote to most of them. The shoes cost about $100. When you say the travel gear is about $100.
$100.
So a couple $100 would buy shoes and travel gear. So come on, guys, you didn't buy yours. Nobody's paid their shoes through time.
Someone else paid for them, right?
Somebody else.
Always. And on top of that, I'll have Coach jump in here as well with me, but we're going to be sending out a quarterly kind of newsletter to former alum just to stay connected, and maybe this year, depending on what happens with the home games, be able to shoot out a link to be able to watch every single home game every week that's available, and hopefully just reconnect and stay connected as events take place.
One more alum. What's the worst call that Grace has ever had against him? Worst official's call.
There's been a lot against
We
me.
probably can't talk about this, but
The worst call. I will say one that I
There's
was
some-
involved with. We were at Marion, and they were trying to foul Greg Miller on purpose because we were in the lead, and Greg gets it and cannot lift his arms up because they just went down. And all of a sudden, the ball goes the other end, and Greg's just standing there under the hoop, and they got the ball, and they go in and score, and we end up losing. That was a bad one.
What was
Yep.
yours?
well, there's been several that are competitive. But this one, we got beat by a team. They had 6 players on the
I
floor.
remember you saying that.
6 players. Kid came out of the game. Andrew Kipsey scores, puts us up 1. Coach subs the player, timeout, make sure, we always guard people out of bounds. We guard everybody. They get ready to throw the ball in, and I'm like, nobody's guarding the ball out of bounds. I'm going, wait a minute, who's not on the floor? Everybody's guarding somebody. Throw it in there. Their coach is yelling at the kid in the floor, get off the floor! He's yelling really loud. The kid thought he wanted him to shoot it. So he caught it, threw it up, goes in. Of course, we don't shake hands. They go running off the floor as hard as they can get. I'm chasing the officials, saying, guys, there was an extra player. We didn't see one. I said, well, ask the scorekeepers, because they subbed him in, and both the staff people, ours and theirs, had to take the kid out of the game who'd subbed out because he scored. He wasn't in the game. They had to put him back in the game so he could get the points, and we lose.
That's a tough way to go out.
So the next day we had a shoot around. We practiced the 6-man play with
That's good.
the other coach watching.
That's good.
When was that?
That's pretty fun.
Before-
Over at Defiance tournament.
Film?
Hmm?
Did you film games back then?
Yeah, but you can't use it. Yeah, you can't use it to determine. Some of the other guys up scouting the game saying, we wonder what you're going to do about that one, because they knew there was an extra player.
Jeez.
But anybody but
Tough
the
way to
officials.
go out.
And so the official, he apologized. He pulled him off our next game, and he was apologizing. And I said, you know what? It's really no worse than some of the other calls you made. And I just kind of walked away. He gives me a dirty look, and then he got a smile.
It's kind of used to it.
Yeah.
All right, that's all. Hope you enjoyed. Special thanks to Coach K and Coach Moore for their time. Any final words, fellas?
I thank you guys. How many wins were you guys a part of in my career? I have to figure that out.
A lot of good teammates.
Yeah.
So, all
A
right.
lot of great teammates.
Let's do this again.
Thank you guys.
We should make the weekly coach roundup.
would be good. We got to talk about our team too.
We
I
can
got
talk
more material.
Season preview.
We can talk. Yeah, we can
With
do
the
a season
Lancers.
preview. We can talk about Scott, and then you can critique him
See?
after every game.
You give me
These
great
are the infamous pictures from my
office.
wall. I could talk about each one of these if you want to hear a few.
Go one by
dangerous.
one.
That's dangerous.
We're gonna have to charge.
Hey, that's a good one
subscription for
right
that,
there.
Though.
That's one thing you guys didn't get right there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
we did not get that.
Yeah.
We got close, but
Okay.
close enough.
Awesome.
Thank you.